What's up guys, this is Dark Magician here and welcome to another KOF video. So guys, as you know that the next boss is Silent Soldier Leona. Now this was kind of expected, but what's not clear yet is when will Leona appear. I mean, honestly, I was expecting that they might put both Leonas together in one limited draw, but apparently they just responded to the Facebook post and decided to put Silent Soldier Leona first. So yeah, until then we still don't have any idea about Leona. But anyway, today's character introduction will be for Silent Soldier Leona. Okay, so Silent Soldier Leona, as you can see, she's an API 15 gang. Of course, as usual, the stats say that all the stats are moderate. Of course, good crit and crit power for a gang, but still, you know, as usual, the stats are moderate. And well, the feature says keep calm and silent threat. Well, pretty much because she can silence enemies. She has the ability to silence enemies, so pretty much that's why they put the feature on her. Now the fates, let's start with the first fate, the Iron Mercenary. We need Silent Soldier Leona, one man army Ralph, and powerful and cool Clark, increasing attack plus 25%. So yeah, the new Ikari team. Of course, you know, it's gonna take some time to get those two, but you know, eventually they do work together for some reason, and it will be possible to unlock this fate for the ones that are going for the three of them. And the second fate, Violence Aesthetics, we need Silent Soldier Leona, Mature Vice, and Shermie, increasing attack plus 25%. And lastly, Inheritor of Blood, we need Silent Soldier Leona, Orochi Leona, and Leona, increasing HP by 25%. So yeah, again, two fates pretty easy to unlock, and even the third one, most likely most people will unlock them if they're gonna use the Ikari team together. And of course, her weapon, the battle scarred Saber, and she uses Beauty Badge and Street Fight Tong. Now moving to her fight soul, it's called the Nimble Bear Soul. Now what's the Nimble Bear Soul is about? Get 115 initial rage, typical for a wild bear, and for a bear, and recover extra rage when attacking, which is a characteristic of a snake soul. But now what we're gonna see next is that she can also add an additional fight soul depending whether she was at the front or at the back. Of course, we're gonna see it in the passive. So yeah, moving to the passive now, Silent Soldier. Get damage and resistance rate. When Silent Soldier Leona appears, if in the front, she can increase 20% ultimate resistance and restore 40 rage or 40 extra rage when under attack, which is a characteristic of a tortoise soul. So you can see if she was at the front, she will get more tankiness, you know, 20% ultimate resistance and a tortoise soul if she was at the front, while if she was in the rear, she can increase 20% ultimate damage and restore 40 extra rage when ally fighters die. So again, increasing in ultimate damage and additional tiger soul. So you can see it, she kind of works anywhere. You can put her at the front and the back, no regrets, depending on what you need more in your team. When there is only Silent Soldier Leona, she can get all the effects above. Of course, in 1 versus 1, she will get both effects together. And now, Silent Soldier Leona is immune to silence effects, so she can't be silenced, which is something good. When under attack, triggers Tactics Adaptation effect, which increases 10% resistance rate, and it can stack up to 4 times. So when somebody attacks her, she can increase 10% resistance rate up to 4 times, so she can reach up to 40% extra resistance in the same round, but the stacks will be cleared at the end of the round, so it can serve her every round. Okay, it resets as we move to another round, so which is still, you know, a good way to gain more tankiness for her. Silent Soldier Leona won't die immediately when getting fatal damage. Instead, she can clear all debuffs and restore 30% HP, kind of the same as Mr. Karate. He won't die, he will recover some HP, of course after the lake element, I mean. And instead she will just gain more HP, and you know, after that she can be killed, but you know, it will be, you know, a good thing to make her more tanky. And silence attacker for 2 rounds, so the ones that actually activated or that drove her or to the fatal damage hit will get silenced for 2 rounds, no more than once in each battle. So this effect can be activated once in a battle. And lastly, when Silent Soldier Leona appears, if there are no less than 3 fighters from the Ikari team in your formation or 8 formation, Silent Soldier Leona will get to 35% control. So if you are using other 2 members of the Ikari team, whether in your formation or in your as aides, she can increase 35% control. Now okay, it's good, but you know, at the same time, it's not a must-have. It would be okay if you don't activate that part for now. So yeah, so at level 1, of course, increasing 15% damage and resistance at level 1, of course, so it can go up as you level her up. Now her other passive, Troops Attack and HP Enhancement, of course, increase attack and HP. It starts at 5%. V-Chop, her minor skill, strikes a single target. Silent Soldier Leona will permanently increase 12% small skill probability when she silences an enemy once. Okay, so she can increase her skill probability and it can stack up to 3 times, so she can increase up to 36% skill probability. In the first 2 rounds, V-Chop will cause injury effect. Of course, the injury effect, the target will decrease 50% healing and lose 8% HP each round without restoring rage, like any other bleeding, like Nameless and you know the other bleeds that doesn't restore HP. Restore rage for the opponents. And of course it stays for 2 rounds and increases 2 random ally fighters 15% resistance rate. That's pretty good as a support as well, because she can increase 2 random allies resistance rate. But from the 3rd round onward, you know, the effects will be, let's say, shifted in the other direction, such that the 50% damage made by V-Chop will turn into HP for ally fighter who has the lowest HP. You know, a typical Leona, she just heals the one with the lowest HP, and decrease random or 2 random enemy fighters 15% damage. So you know, good effects whether at the beginning of the 2 rounds, the first 2 rounds, or from round 3 and onwards. So yeah, that's what the minor skill is all about. Now lastly, her ultimate, Saber, strikes a single target and increase 25% own attack and defense for 2 rounds. As you can notice, this effect is there for almost all API 15, so it's a common thing. When triggering ultimate in the first 2 rounds, make lethal effect on all ally fighters. Of course, lethal effect meaning that the damage will increase 25% when enemy's HP is above 50%, like the mature effect. But what's good about her is that she can do it for all ally fighters, and 25% extra damage is really good. So that's why it would be best to put her, you know, in a top position. Okay, of course we're going to talk about the positioning later on. And the attack target will decrease 20% resistance rate and rage recovery speed, of course. If the target isn't killed, it has 80% chance to be silenced for 1 round. So either you kill or you silence. Pretty much 80% chance is a high percentage. When triggering ultimate from the 3rd round onwards, make slash effect on all ally fighters. So as you can see, it's pretty like tactical. After the 3rd round, you will actually need more damage on the ones who has low HP, so that's why she will give allies the slash effect or the vice effect. Of course, the damage will increase 20% when an enemy fighter's HP is below 45%. And also she will make 40% splash damage against nearby enemies, so she can do splash damage from round 3 onwards. And if the target is killed, there will be 35% chance to silence all other targets which were hit for 1 round. So after, you know, she can do splash damage, if she killed the target, she has a 30% chance to silence the surrounding targets as well. Okay, of course, for 1 round. So yeah, that's pretty much Silent Soldier Leona's skills. Okay, so now just regarding her gates, again, we have reached an advanced stage. We can't really rely on other English translating region because of course they see closed. So for her gate partners, her gate partners are actually Mai, Robert, and K Dash. So again, pretty common gate partners. If you can train them once, you can just keep them and use them for many other fighters, which is pretty appropriate. Now the question is, of course, is Silent Soldier Leona a good character? Well, you've seen her long skill sets, you've seen what she can do. Yeah, she is pretty good actually. She can fit in many teams and she can do a lot. She's one of the good API 15s in the new generation. So definitely she can fit again in many other teams. Now the question is in which teams she can fit. Now here I directly think about Wild Bear Genesis or Wild Bear teams, because well, you've seen that there isn't much Wild Bear teams, or sorry, API 15 Wild Bears recently. Pretty much most people are using, let's say, Nightmare Geese, Magaki, Maki Kagura, Edelhide, you know, those people. So it's time to move forward, I think, with more Wild Bear API 15. So Silent Soldier Leona is definitely a must for the Wild Bear teams, especially because later on we will be getting you know, Ralph and Clark, so they can do a pretty solid Wild Bear team formation with them. Now of course some people might ask, what about female teams? Definitely female teams, she would be great in female teams, but female teams, you need to think more about it, because we will be getting a lot of a lot more female fighters later on. Like for instance, we will be getting Athena 2000, or sorry, Athena 13, Shion, which can fit of course in a female team. We'll be getting Mature, we'll be getting Vice, maybe Terrico, maybe Leona. We still don't know, but the thing is that you do have a lot more options to consider. So Silent Soldier Leona might not stay for a long time in a female team. That's just my point of view. Now of course, if you are gonna skip one of those that I've mentioned, then definitely you can put Silent Soldier Leona and she can stay for a long time. Or maybe you can just you like to shift between characters, so you can get her and maybe later on switch her out. So definitely at the current time she will be a monster, she will be really good, but I always question, you know, how will she perform later on. So that's why I do prefer her more in Wild Bear team and not in female teams, but it's all possible, you know, those are the best two teams that she fits in. Now regarding 4 souls, the thing is that for a Wild Bear element, if you already have Nightmare Geese, I think he can fill the spot for quite a while, because Nightmare Geese is still a solid fighter to use. So I don't think if you want to replace him by Silent Soldier Leona, I don't think she can last that long again in a 4 souls if you do have a slot for one Wild Bear. Because pretty much later on again we will be getting more Wild Bears like Ralph, for example, which will be a good Wild Bear element in your team. But if you don't have Nightmare Geese, let's say if you're still using Magaki or any other Wild Bear, then definitely you can go for Silent Soldier Leona in your 4 souls. But you know, as you can see, very versatile. Now yeah, lastly, front or back, as you can see, it's up to you. You can use her at the front, she will be great over there, or at the back you can also rely on her damage. So it's up to you, you know, just depending on what you need more in your team. Now I do like her more at the front because she does gain a lot of resistance and she helps ally with all the slash effect and the lethal effect. So I do like her, you know, in the top first position at most. But if you do already have more tanky characters, then yeah, you can just put her in the back, it would be good as well. And well, you know, just speaking about that, lastly regarding her runes, the good news is that you do have a lot of variety of runes to use on her. For instance, you can use Wolf's Anger on her. Well, because she's a Wild Bear, she can make an ultimate on round 1. It will be appropriate. She will definitely hit somebody with high HP. So you can benefit from that effect on her. Wolf's Anger would be great on her, especially if she was at the back, although you can use it if she was at the front as well. The other one I would say is Earth's Heart, because it gives her more resistance, which is good. Killing Soul doesn't really fit her much because, well, she isn't a critter. She doesn't have a high crit rate, so you won't be seeing her critting that much. So I wouldn't really prefer Killing Soul on her. But on the other hand, of course, Heart of Thorns, especially if she was at the front, it would be a good option. Of course, the other ones don't fit her, so you can use either Heart of Thorns, Earth's Heart, or of course Wolf's Anger. Any one of those would be great on her, in my opinion, of course. So yeah, I think that was pretty much everything you need to know about Silent Soldier Leona currently. So yeah, let me know, are you excited about the draw? What do you think about Leona, by the way? When do you think she will arrive? Because I always ask myself this question. So yeah, good luck in the draw guys if you're going for her, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace out.